This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everybody. Again, this is Eric Stevenson from Midstates, and I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their busy schedule today to at least join us and listen into our, which will be Midstates' first ever postal webinar, hopefully the first of more to come. We'll try to do this on a quarterly basis as information, just more as a share to keep you informed of things that are going on and changes and updates of things that are going on in the postal world. So after the survey, or after the webinar presentation today, you'll probably receive an email survey asking for some feedback to just let us know how we can improve and make things better. I think first for an introduction, I'm Eric Stevenson. I'm the logistics manager here at Midstates. Been here for a little over 13 years. And with me today, as part of our presentation panel, is Tracy Klein. If you've done any mailing or any work with Midstates, you've communicated with Tracy over the years, and does an excellent job, her and her team, of looking at files and making sure that we're trying to do the best thing for our customers from a postage and postal perspective. Also with me today is Carrie Bornitz. She's a 30-plus year USPS employee, and she's actually the resident expert on informed delivery. She's the program manager, so I thank Carrie for being here today. And Eric Keski, who's our Business Alliance Network representative, who helps us and keeps us up to date with things and changes that are going on in the postal world, and also with making us aware of opportunities that we can bring good ideas to our customers throughout the year. So I thank him for being here as well. Just a couple of housekeeping items. All the lines have been muted for today's presentation, and if you have any questions at all, we'll address those at the end of the presentation, but there's a chat box, you can type them in. We'll kind of take some time at the end to try to lump like questions together and get those addressed as quickly as possible. If we don't have enough time to address the questions during the end of the presentation today, what we'll do is we will circle back and one of us will get back to you within the next couple of days with an answer to the questions that you have. And today's webinar is being recorded, so we'll have that on our website here by the end of the week. So just as a reference point, if there's something that you want to reference back to or have a question on that we can address from the presentation. So with that, we'll get started. From our perspective, from the opportunities for Midstates, and talk more about ways that we can try to reduce your postage spend. And as you know, the cost of postage and distributions continue to rise, and we always want to make sure that we're providing the best possible solution from a mailing perspective and provide you with some opportunities to take and reduce your cost of postage. We call it the co-services here at Midstates, and it's Consolidation, which is also known in the industry as drop ship or ship discounts, destination entry. And that's just basically preparing your mail so that you're able to bypass all the origin side of the distribution chain and go direct to the destination facilities. The further you enter the mail into the postage stream, the deeper the discounts that you can obtain. Our mail here at Midstates is prepared, presented, verified, accepted, all at our detached mail unit here on site. And Midstates is also an approved seamless provider, which means all communication with everything that we do is paperless. It's all electronic. Our files are uploaded, which allows for a little bit faster, easier acceptance process and verification for the mail. The second one is Commingle, and it's for letters only. So the way that works is basically it's prepared, pre-sort order, and the mail, rather than being put in trays to go to the destinations or to the final mailing unit, is put in bins. And bins could be anywhere from 1 to 46, maybe different bin numbers. And a bin might be assigned a particular zip code range. And then those bins and those trays are taken to a Commingle facility to be entered along with millions of other mail where they're combined into a tray, again, to achieve deeper penetration into the mail stream and allow you to save some postage. Co-mail is for flats only, and similar to Commingle. The only difference is Commingle, we do all the work here. We'll do the folding, the tabbing, the inkjetting, insertation if that's required. Whereas Co-mail, everything is stacked down on a pallet and then taken to a Co-mail facility where the data and the pieces are merged all together into one mail stream. Again, anywhere from 2 to 5 million pieces merged together. The last co-service is Co-pal, and that's for lettered mail or for flat mailings. And that's basically the tray as a whole, as a container, or the bundle as a container is placed on one single pallet. And to try to achieve it, it's more common on your origin type shipments or an NDC trying to get to an SCF to build, again, deeper penetration into the postal stream. Talk briefly about consolidation individually. Like you said, you're bypassing the DDUs, the SCFs, the NDCs on the origin side. So from Aberdeen, it would go from our facility at to Dakota Central to Des Moines and then to the rest of the world. But we bypass that and go direct to a consolidation site. Well, they'll combine truckloads to go to, let's say, the Jacksonville NDC or to the Miami SCF for penetration. So that's kind of what it looks like as far as what consolidation or drop ship does. You eliminate your origin facilities to a consolidator who then combines multiple pallets from different mailings to go onto one truck to an end facility. And really with all the co-services, consolidation, Commingle, Co-mail, all we're really trying to do is, if you look at this grid, the top grid is letters, the bottom grid is flats, and we're trying to move basically from right to left and top to bottom, and it's just trying to achieve the lowest possible postage. And really, when you talk about any of the co-services, really all you're trying to do is save pennies. But if you can save pennies on hundreds, thousands, or millions of pieces throughout the year, it adds up over time. So Co-mail, talk briefly about that. It's a production process where you have a machine similar to the one here that is, they do the inkjetting, they do the data work to merge the file into one mail stream, allows for enhanced postage discounts, and applies to flats only, both marketing mail and for periodicals. That's a picture of what a machine would look like, the pockets that are used to sortation, and then the grid actually just shows a comparison of how the grid that we looked at earlier, the right to left, it's just you're moving the mail pieces further down into the mail stream, which then if you can get into carrier out, then that will allow for you to achieve the postage discount. The thing to point out is with Co-mail, you have a savings in this job of $10,000. There are distribution charges that will come off of that as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Anytime you get into a co-service environment, it's not, you'll get a savings, but there's always going to be a processing or a freight charge that will correspond with that to allow you to still achieve some type of overall your postage savings will be there. Commingle applies to letter mail only, whether it's folded, tabbed, whether it's inserted, but again, they go into bins, and then taken through processing equipment similar to this, where then it comes out into one big bundle, so you have one into one tray of multiple different types of mail, again, just to get deeper penetration into the mail stream. So those are some of the co-services that are out there today that we at Midstates have to offer to our customers. So with that, I think if you have questions regarding any of the co-service, I ask that you reach out to your customer service rep, your salesperson, or Tracy and I. We'd love the opportunity to discuss any potential postage savings that there is and better explain things that are available. With that, I'll turn it over to Carrie Bornitz to discuss how you can save 2% using informed delivery promotion.
Thanks, Eric. Hi, everybody. This is Carrie Bornitz. I want to thank Midstates for having me in today. I've done several webinars and either webinars over the phone or in-person sessions for mail service providers across the country. I have a fondness for the folks here in South Dakota. That's my home state. I'm actually here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota today, so we're just a few hundred miles away, I guess. So thank you so much. I want to talk about informed delivery. I've been working on this program for about the last 4 years with a large focus now on the mailer side of the house for informed delivery. So we're very excited about it. It's a new digital component that actually takes the mail and creates a digital component that we've never had before. It's this whole new digital mail stream that we've created here. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about our numbers, and then really kind of how it all works. Go to the next slide. So hopefully a lot of you are already signed up for informed delivery. It is a consumer-facing feature that provides users the opportunity to digitally preview their household mail and manage packages that are arriving soon. So every day I already got my informed delivery digest this morning. I go open it up, I can look in it, I see that I have the other day my husband was waiting for a title for his car. I could see that came in the mail. I can see all of my letter size mail pieces that are coming to me as a consumer. And really what that's doing, right, is keeping consumers engaged with the mail. We all appreciate the tactile value of hard copy mail. So mostly what we're going to talk about today, though, is from the mailer side of the house. You know, we're all consumers, obviously, but with your business mailer hat on, we're going to talk about how you can integrate colorful and interactive campaign elements to actually enhance and extend the mail moment. Next slide, please. Yep. And so participation, we actually, these numbers are, we sign up over 200,000 people a week for informed delivery, new consumers that are participating and have signed up to get informed delivery, either via their email digest or a dashboard. And so we're over 19 million users now. And we note here on the left about the email-enabled users. Those are the folks that get that email digest, which is what is depicted on the screen here. And those are the folks that are really engaged, right? They generate probably 95% of our click-throughs or more from these interactive campaigns that I just talked about before. So they are very active and very engaged in their mail and managing their mail. Then if you look on the right-hand side of this, we've had over 19,000 interactive campaigns completed by almost 3,400 brands, individual brands represented. And we have a very high email open rate. This is our average email open rate for the past 6 months. If you know anything about digital marketing, or if you're doing email marketing campaigns, you're probably aware that this number is considerably higher, almost 2 times higher in most instances of what you would see in email campaigns that you do on your own. So by doing an informed delivery interactive campaign, you get this digital impression, you get these high email open rates. So a lot of value to you to be able to do these interactive campaigns. So next, we talk a little bit about how it works, just to kind of put it in context for everybody. The consumer signs up for informed delivery. Your mail, right? Whoever is sending mail out there is sent and put in being processed through the Postal Service. And we capture digital images of the outside, the address side of those mail pieces. Again, letter and postcard size pieces. We don't image flats, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We do scan them. So we capture those digital images, and for informed delivery subscribers, we take those images and we match them to their the household address, basically based on the delivery point code. It's a zip +4 +11 +2, basically. And so that's during that step where we take those images and we give them to the subscribers. And that's also where we apply those interactive campaigns. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Then the user gets their notification. Again, majority are getting email. They'll get their mail piece generally later that same day. And keeping in mind that just like the physical mailbox, informed delivery is provided at a household level. So everyone in the household gets to see the mail for everyone else in the household. So this concept of the mailbox CEO goes to the mailbox and basically gets to decide who gets to see what mail that's coming in. You know, I use the example, maybe I did a bunch of shopping at Kohl's last month, and my husband gets home before me. He gets the mail. He sees I got another Kohl's coupon, and he's like, wow, we haven't paid off the last bill. So I don't think I should let my wife see this piece of mail. And he can't do that anymore, right? He's busted. So if you're the mailbox CEO and you're managing the mail in that way, you can no longer do that. As a mailer, that's fabulous news for you as a mailer. Not only, especially if a retail or certain categories of mail, certainly a service statement or a bill, really doesn't matter to you if other people in the household would see that. But from a retail perspective, there's a lot of value in getting additional eyes on the mail piece. So then let's talk a little bit more, next slide, on how it works for mailers, right? So for you, you're going to be conducting these interactive campaigns. And again, we use the Intelligent Mail Barcode on the mail piece. That's not only what gives us that delivery point code to match images to the proper household, but it also lets us know if there's an interactive campaign that we should apply to that mail piece. So the sample on the left shows just what you would see as an informed delivery subscriber. If you got this mail piece that said 25% off, it would be a grayscale image. On the right-hand side, you see what you have the opportunity to do. In this case, it's showing this, what we call a representative image, and you get to include a color image of your mail piece. And then there's a little box below that. It doesn't quite show up here, but it will on additional slides that has that interactive part that says, click here, tap now, shop today, or whatever it happens to be, to then create that instantaneous opportunity for a customer to take advantage of your offer. So the next slide talks about the eligible mail pieces, right? So letters and cards, regardless of the class of mail, right? So it can be first class mail, it can be marketing mail. They're scanned and imaged by our automated equipment. We have two different types of campaigns that you can do. One is called basic, where you just give that little, what's called a little ride-along image, kind of that little banner ad below the mail piece. Or you can do what we just saw in the last slide, which is use a representative image as well. If there is no interactive campaign, users are still seeing the grayscale images of your mail, right? You don't need to do anything. Postal Service is already taking those images, and for the consumer's benefit, we're providing them images of the mail. Best way to experience it is sign up for informed delivery. You'll find out that it's a little bit addictive. And then when you do your own interactive campaigns on your own mail, you're going to be signed up and able to see your campaigns in action. So that's a good benefit as well. So for flat size mail, we scan flat size mail pieces, but we do not take pictures of them, right? So as a flat size mail piece goes through automated equipment, Postal Service has a lot of automation equipment, just like Midstates has, how they showed you there. And we scan those pieces, and even if there's carrier route bundled flats, as long as we get the proper nesting information at the time of mailing, we can provide scan events for those as well. Usually you'll see less interactive campaign results from flats than letters, just because they are processed differently. And then for flat size mail, you have to do what we call a dual campaign, where you do a representative image and the ride-along image. And if you don't have a campaign on flats and we do detect a scan, the image here is what you see that says mail pieces that we don't have an image for are included in today's mail. For those of you that are signed up for informed delivery, you would have seen those notices to date. So really, for campaign submission, anybody can submit an interactive campaign on behalf of the brand, right? So you, as a mail owner or a brand, you certainly can submit your own interactive campaigns. You do need information from your printer, mail service provider to gather the campaign elements that you need to support this. Your mail service provider, including printing, printers that do addressing, barcoding, sorting, commingling, all those things that Midstates provides, they can also enter the interactive campaign for you, as could like an advertising agency or someone like that. So it's wide open. Midstates is actually, some mail service providers position themselves that they don't input campaigns for customers. They let them do it themselves. They just provide them some intel. But Midstates is offering that opportunity to submit your campaigns for you. So keep that in mind, very beneficial for them to help you facilitate doing an interactive campaign. So then if we look at industry participation, this is not a niche feature, right? And a lot of times you'll hear us talk about informed delivery and marketing mail and direct mail. And, it's for any class of mail, including billing, service statements, does not matter. There's an opportunity to take and provide a message, an additional message with your mail piece. So if you're doing financial services and you're doing a credit card and maybe someone's getting a new credit card, maybe you talk to them through informed delivery about, look in the mail, your credit card's here, be sure you activate it. That helps with security and those types of things, maybe subscription renewals or upselling or cross-selling, managing accounts. We've had a lot of folks interested now in voter registration. Folks are doing more elections by mail, those types of things. So wide variety of things that you can do with interactive campaigns across many classes of mail. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about campaign preparation. When I talked to Eric, we did say that obviously Midstates is fully in a position to help you through this campaign process, but it's still kind of important that you understand the steps that you should take. So really step one, let's cover the campaign elements first. That's on the next slide. So regardless of your submission method, which we're going to talk about in a couple of seconds here, these are the campaign elements that you need. So you've already created a piece of mail, right? You've already had a mailing list defined. You've already gotten your information over to Midstates, and they're going to, maybe they've helped you design your piece. They're going to print it. They're going to address it. They're going to do commingle, different types of co-processes to help you get a deeper postage discount. These are the campaign elements that you need, aside from what you've already done for your mailing in general. So your brand display name, that's the name of your company, right? It's simple. Not Midstates, right? It would be ABC Company. It'd be Kohl's, whatever it happens to be. There's a title and a code that you need. You can certainly, Midstates might help you assign those. You could assign your own. What I found is, what I didn't know previously, is that most people call their mailings something, right? They name them. It's almost, like a family friend or pet. But we do have names, and so you might call it your spring fling or your fall festival mailing or whatever it happens to be. So your title can be repeated multiple times, but your campaign code for every single campaign has to be unique. And then your start and end date, you're going to pick exactly when you want your campaign to start and when you want it to end. This is all tied into the class of mail you're mailing, where you're inducting it, and where it's destined, right? So Eric talked about the fact that they have the ability to get your mail in with other mail and drop it into the destination, not only saving you postage, but possibly time to delivery. But you're going to want to consider those things, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And also the mid-on piece, IMB serial number, those two pieces are critical. This is where you definitely need your mail service provider. Eric's team, as they process your mail, they would gather that information. And then the supplemental content is basically your ride-along image. You have to have a URL. You have to take the user to some type of experience online, whether it be a website, Facebook, Twitter. There's different things you could do. So. All right, so let's look into the submission methods on the next slide. First of all, there's two submission methods. The one on the left is the mailer campaign portal. It's manual entry. It's a very intimate experience. You literally gather those campaign elements that we just discussed. You're going to manually input them in the screen. So there's like 10 entry boxes. You're going to upload those images. You hit submit. You can send yourself a sample email to see what it looks like, or Eric could send it to one of you as their clients for you to see it, how it's going to be positioned, and those types of things. We generally recommend that everyone at least starts with putting campaigns in the portal. It literally just takes a couple of minutes to do those entries. Postal One submission, the reason why we ask you to determine your submission method first is because Postal One requires programming, right? So most people go through a customer acceptance testing process. It's you take your existing Postal One files that you send in for postage, which again Midstates likely does for you, and they have to do a customer acceptance test, and it can take a couple of weeks. So if you wanted to do an interactive campaign, and you had all your campaign elements and you wanted to start a campaign tomorrow, if you entered it in the portal, you could do that and start it tomorrow. If you just made that decision now, it's going to take you a couple of weeks to go through Postal One testing to be able to submit a campaign. So, but Postal One is certainly going to be something that more folks are looking for and using as you do more campaigns and more complex campaigns. All right, so let's talk next about what we call the campaign breakdown. And basically what this is that your mailing list really needs to be sorted based on the how you want your or what you want your customers to see. So if I'm doing a mid-level campaign, if I own that mailer ID, which again, Midstates will either use their mailer ID or they've offered that they could use yours. But in this case, once we see that mailer ID on that mail piece, all the customers get the same campaign treatment, right? So if you apply it to 1 million pieces of mail, they would all get that same treatment. What most people are doing, so 97% of all our campaigns are done at what we call the IMB serialized level. And that is really for in the cases of shared mids. And so ultimately what is a different campaign to groups of customers. So let's say that you are going to be mailing to, you have a mailing list of 15,000 pieces, and you want to have some people get the red treatment, some get the blue treatment, and some get the green treatment, meaning in their campaign. That could be someone getting 30% off, someone else gets 20, someone gets 10, whatever you can visualize there in your mind. You need to sort your mailing lists up front so that you get sequential IMB serial number ranges for each of those groups of customers. So you'd end up with a IMB serial number range. If we look at the next slide, you'd end up with an IMB serial number range of 1 to 5,000, 5,001 to 10,000, 10,001 to 15,000, and again, those are just examples. You can, any number in the range. Most IMB serial numbers are 9 digits. So that part is critical. This is really where the village comes in 100%. Again, Midstates would generally use their mailer ID on mail pieces that they barcode for you. Just putting on those barcodes, right, give you deeper postage discounts and make your mail automated. So when they do that, they need to keep the IMB serial number ranges all unique for each of your mailings, right? And then if you have different groupings of customers that you want to target within your mailing, they would help you facilitate that as well. So I cannot stress how important it is that the mailer ID that's in the Intelligent Mail Barcode is what we first look at to see if there's a campaign, and then we look at that start and end serial number range and see if the piece falls within it. Way critical that piece is. So, all right, next we'll talk about your supplemental content, right? So to get an interactive campaign, the first thing you really need to do is you need to develop your creative for your ride-along image. Now, again, this may be something that Midstates would do for you if they do some mail piece design and those type and creative. The idea is when you're creating your mail piece and your offer and the contents of your mail piece and the outside of your mail piece, you are thinking automatically of what your ride-along image is going to look like as well. It should tie to your message. It should repeat your offer. It should have a call to action on it. So that, again, that ride-along image is that bottom one on the left. It says tap here. For if you do an interactive campaign, at a bare minimum, you need that ride-along image and you need a URL. If you're doing flat-size mail pieces, you must use a representative image as well. It's optional for letters or postcards. So let's go to the next, our interactive campaign guide or campaign image requirements tell you the specs for those images, right? There's certain pixel heights and file sizes and things you have to be aware of. One of the things I like to point out, though, and this kind of shows you the difference between a basic and a dual campaign. So you mailed this mail piece. If you look at the left, the semi-annual sale piece, it's presented to me. I can see it in my Informed Delivery Digest, and then you can see the little banner ad below it and that the ride-along image, and that is what's clickable. Now, most people are doing what we call dual campaigns because as marketers and as mailers, we tend to think that this color, big color image on the popping out at you is going to get more attention. And the numbers here show you that that's not necessarily the case. Now, keep in mind that these numbers that I'm showing you here are basically across all industries, all offers, and all campaigns, so 15, 20,000 campaigns that we looked at. We did not look at, did someone offer a buy one, get one free Maserati and someone else just had a logo, right? That can obviously make a big difference. The big point here is that we suggest you try both. Either do a basic campaign first and then do that a few times and then try a dual campaign or vice versa. But don't just assume that the big colorful image is going to drive more behavior. You got to keep in mind that informed delivery is unique from a consumer-facing standpoint. They're signing up for it because they want to see images of their mail, right? So that's very important to keep in mind. Oh, just needed a drink there. All right, so the timeline, we talked about this a little bit before. Campaigns don't run forever, just like your mail pieces don't stay in the mail stream forever, right? You got a particular start and end date of when you expect your mail to be delivered. And again, Midstates is likely going to, be very knowledgeable in this area, right? Because you're all going to talk about when you want the pieces to drop and where they're going, and again, the class of mail. So, if we look at, if you're mailing a first-class piece of mail, like a statement, you could probably run a campaign for 6 or 7 days, right? And you would be able to get the whole hit all your mail pieces because based on that delivery standard. If you're doing marketing mail and you're going, dropping out of Aberdeen and you're going to Hawaii and Alaska and Puerto Rico, you're going to and you're doing marketing mail, you're going to do a longer campaign window, right? Probably 15 days or 20 days. So it's very important to understand that. And again, your campaign elements would be unique for this period of time, for this individual campaign, for that one group of customers that you're trying to hit. So once you've done all those things, right? You think, oh, I'm gathering my campaign elements, I'm getting my ride-along content, I've got my mailing list segregated. I know that I'm going to do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 campaigns. I'm working with with Midstates to either enter the campaign for me or get me the mid and IMD serial number ranges so I can enter it myself. And then it's submitted, right? So, and then you induct your mailing as usual. So again, for mailer campaign entry, your campaign needs to be entered by 1 p.m. Local time, the day before the campaign start date. So right now it's 11:09 here in Central Time in the United States. I have up until 1 o'clock, 12:59, let's say, to actually get a campaign and submit it if I wanted it to start tomorrow, right? Usually you want to give yourself a little bit more time, right? The mailer campaign portal, again, if you're going to enter campaigns yourself, you'll need your own account within the mailer campaign portal. So we suggest that you plan ahead, but just wanted to let you know what some of these deadlines look like for campaign entry. And then after that, really the key thing is that you're going to be monitoring the progress and results, right? So what's different with informed delivery in relation to the mail is that we can give you specific results of your campaign, which you've never really seen before with mail. You might be able to send someone a direct mail piece, and then if they take it into the store, they'll say, oh yeah, I got this in the mail if you ask them, but you don't always really know. And with informed delivery interactive campaigns, you absolutely know. So the summary report is what we're showing here. This is what most people are focusing on today. It's going to tell you let's just look at the mail pieces column. This is the number of pieces out of your mailing that was presented to informed delivery households. So it's not your total mailing, it's the number of pieces presented to informed delivery households. That's all we report on here. So in this case, the mailer probably mailed 100,000 pieces. 10,000 were presented to informed delivery subscribers. Out of those pieces, there's 5,500 on some emails. Keeping in mind that your campaigns, when you do an interactive campaign, your campaigns float to the top of the email digest and dashboard. So if there's more than one campaign in a day, they're going to be random. I had a sales employee send me something the other day. They had 4 interactive campaigns in their email digest that day. That was a record for even me to see. So a lot of people are getting on board with it. We show you the email open rate and then the number of click-throughs and the click-through open rate. And then you can calculate an email click-to-open rate, and then there's actually a detailed report that sits behind here that gives you the line level details behind all of this information, like when was the email sent, how many people in the household got emails, what time did they open their emails, did they click through, and what time did they click through. So if you're in a position to do some deep dive into your data analytics and tie that back into ultimately customer responses, we certainly want you to look at your ROI. We've seen a lot of indications that mailers are getting higher response rates and ROI and conversions from informed delivery subscribers just because, they're into the mail. So that's really all I had today. We do have additional resources on our Informed Delivery for Business mailer website. Again, you can certainly visit there, check out some things yourself. Otherwise, Eric and team there at Midstates are also ready, willing, and able to assist you. So from there, we're turning it over to Eric, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the Informed Delivery Promotion.
Great.
From his side.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Carrie. I just wanted to thank Eric and Tracy and the whole Midstates team for inviting us to talk about postal information and, future services that we're working on. And that's kind of what I would like to finish up with. So, talking about the remaining promotions, some future roadmaps, and then lastly, I just want to touch base on an enhancement I think is really exciting, and it's a beta test going on in Northern Virginia, and hopefully it'll be able to be rolled out in the near future. So first, I'd just like to touch base on the two of the three remaining, the Informed Delivery campaign promotion, which started on September 1st, and that's going to be through the end of November, and then also the mobile shopping, which started on October 1st, and is going to run through the end of the year. So the mobile shopping promotion, so the eligible mail is marketing mail, letters and flats, and nonprofit marketing mail, letters and flats. And here's an opportunity where you could actually save money if you have the eligible pieces of 2% at the time of mailing. So you could have registered as early as June 15th, and you can register up until December 31st, but I'd recommend that you probably want to sign up a little bit before the 31st. And it's running through August 1st to the end of the year. So the mailing requirements must contain a barcode with technology where the users can engage with an electronic shopping experience. So different types of barcode examples would be like a QR code or a data matrix code. Even a near-field communication or voice QR code would work. So there's many other types, and they're always open to suggestions just to make sure that it's eligible. So some of the featured item must be tangible and shippable. So if you were to try to download software from purchasing it or buy insurance, that wouldn't qualify. There are some nuances to that. So let's just say, for instance, if you're a nonprofit mailer and you are looking for donations in a mailing campaign, you could potentially qualify as long as you have a follow-up mailing to that person that gave the donation. So if you are interested in that kind of information, please reach out to your Midstates sales representative, and we'll work to make sure that we can make that qualify. So one other requirement is the website must be secure and also web optimized. Now, the Informed Delivery campaign promotion started September 1st, and it runs through November 30th. And the business mailer who leverages Informed Delivery to reach their target audience using the Informed Delivery digital campaign. And again, it's a 2% discount of postage at the time of mailing, and the discount deduction from the postage amount is for the qualified mail products, which are first class, pre-sort, and automated letters, flats, and cards, marketing mail, automation letters and flats, and nonprofit marketing mail, automation letters and flats. So the one other thing I'd like to point out is not all the mail pieces have to have an Informed Delivery subscriber. There just has to be a certain portion of the mailing list to qualify. So some of the future enhancements that the post office is working on is, first of all, the Informed Delivery post-campaign data is going to be accessed through Informed Visibility. So Carrie had mentioned earlier about who can submit a Informed Delivery campaign. So the mail owner, the MSP, or even an agency could submit the campaign. So what we're working on is the ability to, whoever submitted the campaign was the only one that could access the post data information. and then it would be kind of clunky to have to share it with everybody. So with this informed visibility access, whoever submitted the campaign can then delegate access to that mailer ID that was on that mail piece, and then the agency could pull up that information, or the mail owner could pull up that information. So we're trying to make it more accessible to everybody. We're also working on having saturation mail and inform our EDDM, or every door direct mail, as part of the campaign. Currently, it's unable to participate. And also, we have packages that we're going to be adding as well in the near future. So, and then an additional part of that is we're trying to make it easier for the consumer. First of all, we're going to give them the ability to use more than one address for their account, provide mailing delivery notifications, and allow users to identify pieces that don't belong to them back to informed delivery. And then lastly, now Carrie again said that she had one of her coworkers had 4 different color campaigns in one email. In the future, the post office may monetize that, kind of like Google search, where they roll searches up to the top by who pays additional money for advertising. So that potentially may come to fruition. Okay, and then lastly, I'd just like to touch base on this beta test that's currently going on. And it's in its infant form right now, but what I'm pretty excited about what it potentially could have an enhancement for informed delivery. So the post office has a pilot that is going to have informed delivery users have the ability to express preferences for the mail that they receive, virtually browse online, and then also take advantage of deals that they didn't even receive in the mail. So the post office is going to first send out a survey offer to take for informed delivery users, and then if they do opt into that, then they're going to select the preference of information they'd like to get, and after that, they will be exposed to all the informed delivery campaigns that are currently going on. So here are some of the examples of different items that they could choose to get information on, like electronics or restaurant. And then once they're done picking their different preferences, they close their profile out, and then they are able to go to their dashboard and see something like this. So you'll have 9 of my favorites, which are spot on the preferences they want. And then there'll be recommendations, which are going to be similar to the preferences they want. But also, they have all the informed delivery campaigns that are going on currently in that area. So that's where people that may be doing home improvement but didn't have that as a preference may see a Home Depot offer and be able to interact with that. So I think that's the really cool part about that. Then in the second phase of this beta test, the post office is going to be able to convert the informed delivery subscribers' information into a coded address, which protects all the privacy, which is that we have to do. But that also will be able to provide that list to mail owners that are interested, let's say, in electronics. We'll send all the people that are interested in electronics in a mailing file to that company that is, let's say Best Buy, just for an example. So then they'll be able to then mail in this coded form basically a hot lead saying, here's some more information about electronics, which you indicated you're interested in. So I think this is going to be a real game changer for the post office and enhanced mail campaigns. So right now, it started in August, and there's 19 zip codes in Northern Virginia that are in the beta test, and there's approximately 30,000 informed delivery subscribers that are participating in it. So I just wanted to let you know that hopefully we'll roll this out nationwide in the near future, but we have to test to get all the bugs out first.
So I guess that's what we have for the webinar and the presentation today. From what I can see that we have. Matt, do you have any questions? No questions. So with that, I want to thank everybody for taking their time today, for out of their busy schedule to attend. Hopefully you found some of the information beneficial or maybe piqued some curiosity. I would ask that, again, thank Eric and Carrie for taking time out of their schedule to help us present some of this information. Again, reminder, the webinar will be available online on our website later today. And again, you'll get a follow-up survey to kind of your feedback to how we can make this a little bit more interactive or improve going forward. So with that, have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.